Lightning Vortex, Omni, Negate. Negate anything with our Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, and we have 8,000 damage on the follow-up. Let's go. We are now covering Metalfoes, which alongside Megalith is one of the top 2 best decks for the normal rare festival. That is right, your eyes do not deceive you. This is a back-to-back $100 giveaway. All you have to do is click like, subscribe, comment below what deck you want me to cover next for the normal rare festival, and you'll be entered into the $100 giveaway. This is the base of a Metalfoes deck. We have 3 different scale 1s, and we have 3 different scale 8s. Now, all of these Metalfoe cards have the same exact effect. You will destroy one other face-up card in the field, and then you will search your deck for a Metalfoes spell or trap. Now, through Pendulum Summoning and popping other cards to search our deck, we're going to accomplish one of 3 things. Metalfoes level 7s, these are the 2 that are level 7, will help us exceed into an Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. Then, through any means necessary, we send this to the graveyard, then it will activate to summon an Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. This is our Omni Negate. Negate anything. The second goal of this deck is to set up the fusion summoning. We're going to use Metalfoes Fusion to fuse using our extra deck hand and field, and also use our Quick Effect Fusion to fuse during the opponent's turn. What we will accomplish with that is summoning an Orichalc during our turn, and then during our opponent's turn, we're going to fuse sending the Orichalc to the graveyard for another one, or make a Mithrilium. Then that will trigger the effect of Orichalc to destroy any card on the field. Now, our third goal with the deck is going to be searching for Metalfoes counter. If any of our cards are destroyed in any way whatsoever by yourself or your opponent, you get to special summon a Metalfoe from the deck, and then during your turn, you could banish this from the graveyard to add a Metalfoes from your extra deck to your hand. So this will absolutely overwhelm your opponent while also protecting you during your opponent's turn. To make the deck even more consistent, we are abusing a card called Combination. When this card is sent to the graveyard, we search our deck for a Metalfoes, and we can do that more than once per turn. So if we have any of our Metalfoe monsters and we normal summon a baboon, you destroy the baboon, which will summon 2 more baboons from your deck. Then you're going to exceed into a Quantal Mech. Quantal Mech can destroy any back row card in the field. We're going to destroy our own. You're going to destroy your combination that you're going to search for after destroying your baboon, and then combination will search for a Metalfoes monster. We're also abusing combination with the True Draco cards. With any of our Metalfoes, we destroy our face-up True Draco spell, which then when sent to the graveyard and we have searched for a combination that is now set on our field, the True Draco spell will activate to destroy an opponent's back row card or our own, and just like the baboon combo, we're going to destroy our own combination. And then finally, we have a True Draco warrior, which you could set your combination after you search it or you opened up with it. Then you could tribute summon, which will trigger the combination to search your deck for a Metalfoe. Let's start off with the priority of this deck, which is, do we have a scale 1 and a scale 8, or can we search a scale 1 and or an 8? So looking at our hand, we have 2 different scale 1s, but we do have a way to search by destroying the baboon. So if we activate one of our scales, we will destroy the baboon, summoning 2 baboons from the deck, and then we're going to make the Quantal. Then Quantal will destroy a combination, which is what we are searching for right now. So you want to search for a combination, very good. And then you want to identify with your hand is, do we have 2 level 7s? Any combination of 2 level 7s, and we're going to be able to make our rank 7 exceed into an Omni Negate play. And we do. We have 2 scale 1 level 7s, which are going to be the Melcaster. So we're going to try to focus with the Melcaster to make our rank 7 exceed, and then we're going to be good. So as we are catching up to that, we are using the effect of the baboon. Baboon on summon from the deck or on normal summon is going to draw a card, and then we can put a card back to the bottom of our deck. So we're going to make our Quantal. Quantal will now destroy our combination. Combination get destroyed, and we're going to search for a scale 8 so that we could perform a Pendulum Summon. Now, we want to Pendulum Summon a monster from the extra deck ideally. So what we need to do is we're going to set the scale, destroy the other one that is already activated, and then by destroying it, we now have a monster in the extra deck. And also, we want to identify are we able to set up a fusion play? Otherwise, if we don't set up a fusion play, you do want to be searching for your Metalfoes counter. So we do have enough cards to search up the fusion, set up the fusion, and we also want the quick play fusion to then use the Orichalc effect when sent to the graveyard to destroy a card during the opponent's turn. So we are performing our Pendulum Summon right now after searching for our regular Metalfoes fusion, summon everything from the hand, and then what you want to do after you Pendulum Summon is destroy one of your scales that you used for Pendulum Summon. Now that you destroyed one of your scales, it goes to your extra deck. And by going to the extra deck, we could now use the Metalfoes fusion, which can only use one monster from the hand, one monster from the field, or one monster from the extra deck to use for our fusion summon. And since we had 2 level 7s on the field, we decided to just put them on top of each other, just make the absolute dragon. And it's very good to put your absolute dragon in the extra monster zone. When you put it in the extra monster zone, you could then use gravity controller. Only when a monster is in the extra monster zone can we send it to the graveyard to summon this. And then once we send it to the graveyard, we will be able to summon our Omni Negate Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Right now we are summoning our Orichalc, and we have set our full Metalfoes fusion to use it. Now, the problem we have right now is we don't have a way to fusion summon him during the opponent's turn, or at least yet we do not. So you'll see that come into play. We're using the gravity controller to send the absolute dragon, and now we're going to have the card to fuse with. The card we are using to fuse with is going to be the Bismugear. Bismugear, when it is destroyed, it searches for a Metalfoes during the end phase. So by destroying this allowed us to now use a monster to fuse with our Orichalc during our opponent's turn. So if we look and pause on our turn right now, we have the ability to send an Orichalc to the graveyard with the quick play fusion to destroy any card in the field. We have an Omni Negate with Vortex Dragon. Spell, trap, monster effect. We will negate and we will destroy. And then we also have a follow-up Quantal. If he ends up setting a back row, we will be able to pop their back row in addition to whatever play they do. Can they survive a disruption and an Omni Negate? Probably not. Gonna set up a back row, activating the Thunderbird. I am going to be possibly passing on that. I do decide to pass on that. I'm speeding this up a bit so we can get to what's good. Summoning, I'm going to allow that. I don't feel the need to disrupt that. Now summoning a Chaos Grepher. While this is face up, it looks like it has a discard effect. I choose to just let it go ahead. Do your thing. Show me how good you are. He's gonna discard. Should I negate it? I'm not negating it. I'm just going to allow it. I'm looking for if you do absolutely something disruptive, like that, destroying my face down Metalfoes fusion where I have to respond, I'm now going to respond. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to be sending the Orichalc to the graveyard, and then the Orichalc will activate after being sent to the graveyard to destroy any card on the field. And reminder, we do have the Omni Negate for whatever we want when we want to negate. By returning a monster in the extra deck that's face up, a Pendulum back into the deck, that's how we perform our Omni Negate. I'm going to take out that giant bird with the effect of the Orichalc. I'm thinking I don't really need to take out the back row. The Quantal could deal with it. The Odd Eyes can also negate it. He is entering the battle phase. The gravity controller could not be destroyed by a monster that is in the main monster zone, so we're fine. Main phase 2, if you have no other play, you are in big trouble. That is a scoop. Omni Negates, disruption. That was amazing. Let's go. New duel. Let's check out our hand. We have a scale 1. We have a scale 8. We do have the way to Pendulum Summon. Now, do I have a way to search for 2 level 7s? That is what you want to focus on here. We have the Summoner's Art, which could search for 1 level 7. And we have the True Draco Spell, which can, after we search for a combination by destroying it, it will then destroy the combination to grab another level 7. So we are going to focus on making the Absolute Dragon, and then we're going to try to get it in the graveyard which we will easily be able to do. And that's going to give us our Omni Negate. Those are the goals with this deck. Are we able to Pendulum Summon? Yes. Do we have the 2 level 7s? Yes. If you don't, you then will want to set up the Fusion Disruption play. And you could even do that on top of the Odd Eyes Omni Negate play if we have enough cards to do so, which we're not going to for this. The Odd Eyes into the Fusion Disruption play, that's going to be a 5-card combo. The 2 level 7 combo to make the Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, generally it's going to be a 4-card combo here. Here we go. We're going to destroy the True Draco spell with our Pendulum Scale, searching for the combination. Then the True Draco spell is going to destroy the combination, searching for the other level 7. We're going to destroy the Scale level 7 with the plan to Pendulum Summon it onto the field with the level 7 from the hand. Just like that, come forth and summon double Pendulum level 7 monsters. We're going to stack them on top to make our Absolute Dragon. Now we need to put the Absolute Dragon into the graveyard, which I'm going to tribute summon over instead of using the Gravity Controller. Now we have our Omni Negate, and we are popping, searching for the counter trap. Metalfoes counter. This is nuts. If any of our cards get destroyed, even a non-Metal Foe, we're going to be able to summon a Metalfoe from the deck and then also add Metalfoes from the extra deck to the hand. You're going to see how insane it is. In many cases, a lot of people would say it's better to just search the counters than setting up the Fusion Disruption. Lightning Vortex destroying all of our monsters on the fields that are face up. We're going to negate that. Omni Negate with the Vortex Dragon. I do not think so, mate. Now that's our 1 negate. He's going to swing in with his Mass Dragon. I don't know if I should be afraid of this. Back in the day, Exploder Dragon. We're back in B-Boomer, Yugi Boomer days. The Exploder Dragon, when swinging into my monster, will destroy it. And since you destroyed my monster, even during the damage step we are in, we're going to activate double Metalfoes counter, special summoning our Metalfoe monsters from the deck. I generally like to summon the biggest ones, which are the level 7s. So if we did not make the Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon play turn 1, you'd be able to make it right now. You could go into the Absolute and then send it to the graveyard, make a Vortex, and you'd be great. Now, right now, there's a problem. I don't have a face-up card in the extra deck, and I don't know what that back row card is. Obviously, we know so in the replay, but what if it's a Torrential Tribute? What if it's something chainable that I really don't want him to activate before I have a card in my extra deck? So my goal here is I want to get a card in the extra deck without starting a chain link. I don't want them to chain. I just want to do it right away before they could respond. And we're going to do that. We're going to send our monsters to the graveyard, which goes to the extra deck because they're Pendulum monsters for our Link Summon. So that immediately put them into the extra deck. And now my Odd Eyes Vortex Omni Negate will be able to negate that back row. And all we have to do is put up lethal damage, which is not difficult to do with Metalfoes. I'm going to grab the Metalfoes Quick Fusion spell. There's a cool little combo with this where you, instead of waiting for a turn because it's a quick play spell, you use your Mithrilium, which normally returns your opponent's card back to their hand, but returning your own quick play fusion back to your hand allows you to use it. And then the Mithrilium, when sent to the graveyard, will special summon a monster from the extra deck or in the graveyard back onto the field. So that's exactly what we're doing here. We're going to grab the quick play fusion to the hand. I'm not even going to return their back row because I'm sure it's chainable and we can negate it anyway. I'm going to choose to not negate that. That's going to prevent me from attacking. Instead, I'm going to chain my full Metalfoes fusion to show you how much damage I could deal here. This is nuts. We already attacked with our Link Summon. Our Mithrilium was going to get negated, and then we're summoning an Orichalc at 2,800 attack. That's going to trigger the Mithrilium in the graveyard, special summon from the extra deck or the graveyard, another Metalfoes. That's a double attack. That is nuts. That is a ton of damage. Let's go. Now I'm going to show you a quick test against the computer to show you how much damage we could put up onto the field if you happen to go second with this deck. It's also worth noting that the Orichalc will give the ability to all of your Metalfoe monsters to inflict double piercing damage through a defense position monster. That is absolute madness. When they have a 0 defense Paleozoic monster, someone from the graveyard, that's going to be a free win, over 5,000 damage swinging over that with the Orichalc. So we're going to be identifying, do we have a way to Pendulum Summon here? Yes, we do. We have a scale 1, we have a scale 8. That's great. Now, if we're going second, the rank 7 play is not as important as dealing as much damage as I can. So focusing on as much damage as I can is going to be a fusion summon play. And do remember the combo with Mithrilium, returning your own Metalfoes fusion back to the hand, which will essentially give you 5,000 plus extra damage, as we could summon an Orichalc from the fusion spell itself after attacking with the Mithrilium, and then ideally we'll be summoning a Volflame on top of the Orichalc for that extra damage with the in-graveyard effect of Mithrilium after being sent to the grave. So we're going to use the fusion spell after making sure we have a scale in the extra deck, and using one monster on the field, one monster in the extra deck, come forth and summon Mithrilium. Mithrilium returning your own quick play fusion is so much better against a card that is potentially chainable, that they're going to likely use in the battle phase anyway. So instead of them chaining to your Mithrilium effect, you could just use Mithrilium to return your own quick play fusion back to the hand, so that when they activate their Canadia or their Book of Moon in the battle phase, you're going to at least have the power of the quick play fusion, as you see right here. We're going to use the field after attacking with both monsters, summoning the Orichalc, triggering the effect of the Mithrilium. And again, I do want to repeat this, Mithrilium normally will return an opponent's monster or an opponent's back row back to the hand. I don't want you to think that it only returns your own card back. A lot of people don't do this play, which is why I really want to highlight it for you to show you how much extra damage we could put on the field.